Over the years, I have accumulated a number of items from old vacuum equipment. This is the motor from an old handheld, I believe it was probably a Shark 15 or so volt car vacuum cleaner. This seemed to me like it was the most interesting part, since this is what's pulling the vacuum, so I kept it. This is the hose from an old vacuum cleaner as well, that since then has been thrown into the trash. And the question was, could we make something out of all of this? I was looking for a small portable shop vac that I can use to sweep the floor, or at least collect things from the floor once things were together. So with a few other things from my junk bin around the workshop, I'll show you what I was able to make. The next question was whether I could power this small vacuum motor with one of these LiPo batteries that I had from one of my remote control airplanes. This is an old battery, nonetheless, it's keeping its charge, and it's about the same voltage as that motor that was rated at 15.6. A fully charged battery like this would be around 16.8 volts, which is pretty close for the motor. As a first test, I wanted to make sure that this battery will work with this motor without actually burning it out. So I rigged up a little wire here that I can use to connect it, and we'll give it a try and see how it works. So this is a color-coded connection for the battery. Before I connect it, we're going to connect this black wire here, and we have another red wire there that I'm going to connect through this. I made an old light switch into an on-off switch for this, so that we can give it a try. We start with the off position, and we're going to connect the battery. And of course this is coded, so only the red will go with the red. So at this point we're ready to give this a try by turning this switch on and see if it works. Oh yeah, it does work, and quite loud. So having figured out that this battery would work with this motor, the question is, how do we actually put it together into a functional prototype for a little shop vac? So looking into my junk bin and my favorite PVC bin, I was able to find a few things that I thought we could use. And after a little bit of experimentation, these are the things that were left and became part of the project. So this is a 250 ml bottle. You can use anything else that it's similar. It has a wide mouth, and by heating it, I was able to fit in there a 2-inch PVC pipe, quite tight when it goes in. This is 2-inch PVC pipe. The length is approximately 2.5 inches. That's not that critical, but nonetheless, I'll show you how it all goes together. Here's some 3/4 PVC pipe and an elbow connector. Here we have two straight 3/4 inch connectors. The one is standard, and the other one is with threads on one side and smooth on the other. Nonetheless, it's irrelevant. I only use it because that's what I had around the shop. And probably the most critical part is this connector, which is 2 inches on these two sides and 1.5 inch here, and then a bottle cap that I cut a 1-inch hole, and you will see later how this hole becomes the input for our vacuum hose. Will go something like that. Now, one of the interesting things is that we're going to use the same pipe for evacuating air and creating vacuum, and also for the trash that's going to be coming in, sucked in by the vacuum. So, as you will see, there is an interesting concept here that we're going to use this elbow pipe in a configuration like this, so that the same pipe can be used for both the vacuum and the input of the trash, something like this. You can see here we have two concentric pipes. We're going to install the vacuum pump up here, and the trash will be coming in here, going down this pipe, where we're going to eventually connect this to create a support for the dust bag that we're going to create. After trying a few different ideas, I realized that the simplest and most effective one was an old woven sock that we can use as the dust bag. In order to keep it open, I made this little contraption that from some flexible wrap that I hot glued to create a little bit of a stabilizing framework when we put it into the sock, and so it will keep it open. And then I created here a closure that I can close it around this part of the pipe as it's bringing in from the vacuum side the dust and other things that we collect. So the first thing we're going to do is to keep this sock from collapsing and keeping it open. We're going to insert this little contraption here. And essentially we create a dust tube that will pretty much be holding open. So the first thing we're going to do is to keep this sock from collapsing and keeping it open. We're going to insert this little contraption here. And then we can slide it over this small indentation of these two tubings. And we can tie it secure so that all the trash will not fly out. All we have to do Now, one thing to note is that this is top heavy if we were to lift it up, so it has a tendency to fall very easily, and that was the next thing I needed to mitigate. And this is how this works. This is an old can from many Christmas ago, and some old weights from blinds, vertical blinds from a door. A couple of these that I have put in for a weight. So this weighted can becomes the base of this, and it becomes quite snag with a little bit of insulation, and no longer is in danger of tipping. So let's see what we have so far. We have the motor mounted and the diverter here for the vacuum and the incoming port. We have our receptacle for the dust and trash, and finally we have our weighted metal can that is holding everything down so it will not tip. And here we have the on-off switch that we can use and the battery that will power this. So this is some final shots of the assembled project. One important thing is I added a small monitor for the LiPo battery because these cannot fall below 3.85 volts each, so this will allow me to monitor easily the voltage coming from this battery. So this is a LiPo battery powered motor from an old handheld vacuum using a coupling with PVC pipes and an old vacuum hose here. And I hope you had fun watching how this project was assembled, and maybe it will inspire you also to make something like this, or get some ideas of that you can use in your own projects. Thank you for watching.